Hello again. If you haven't watched my previous video about the app I've created for the Max for Live, which is called Deepmind Controller, the basic idea is to play with the VSTs, for example, and control them like you normally do with your hardware. So I have every parameter that I want to control mapped through the Deepmind onto the Repro-1 and Repro-5. I will show you in a second. And this way I can play with those VSTs like I normally do with the Deepmind itself. So let's try first thing. Maybe let's use the Repro-1 first as first synth to show. Okay, so what we got in here is initialized Repro-1 preset. On the last page on the Deepmind, I got control over the mixer. So maybe let's try to turn off the second oscillator for now and use only the first. And let's try to change the shape to square. And here, under the pulse width modulation slider, I got the control over the pulse width modulation. Okay, but we want to automate that thing. So if I turn off the control over the first oscillator, those sliders instead control the mod matrix here. So over the same slider, which is pulse width modulation slider, I've got the control over the oscillator oscillator A pulse width destination or source. Actually, it can be either wheel source or direct source. We want to use direct and use the LFO as our source under the LFO slider on the VCF. I've got control over the mode LFO amount. So okay, and on the LFO sliders, I got the control over the LFO. So here's the rate. Here we got the shapes. Let's try to use straight triangle shape for now. Okay, let's close the filter also. A little bit of envelope, keyboard tracking, and let's go to the envelope stages for the amp. Too much envelope amount, and maybe too much resonance. And the filter envelope is too aggressive for me. Alright, so let's move back to the mixer and let's try to do something with the second oscillator now. First, let's activate it on the controller and maybe let's try to drop it down, maybe all the way down 2 octaves. And also let's try to turn off keyboard tracking here. So any note I play, we will have the same note on that oscillator. So yeah, that's it. Let's bring the first oscillator back. Okay, and now under the curves of the envelopes, I've got control over all different functions. We have left like sequencer and other quirks of the repro. So let's use drone. built-in arpeggiator. Now let's use the clock as our source. And the rate of that clock is here. Okay, let's jump into the Repro-5 for now. It's a polyphonic synth. Maybe let's try to, really quick, create some pad sound. actually want to use it for now real quick as bass source. So instead of the polyphonic, we will use the unisons here. So let's close the filter. And now and the key to the nice bass, wide bass sound will be the unison detune. And maybe just a little feedback here. Okay, we will not tweak this patch forever. I've got something prepared here. A little bit more finished. And also what I have here is a little device. Let me show you. This little device will limit the keyboard range. So the bass is only from that note down, and the other sound I've got here, similar to the first one we created with the Repro-1, but with the oscillators tuned fifth apart, is from that key we got there up. So this way we can play with the split keyboard. We have to arm both of those tracks. And try to play really similar jam we do before, just with the Repro-1, but with two repros. And also what we have here is drum group, where all sounds are also created with the repros. It sounds like this. And by the way, all those sounds are created only with the repros, and there are no external processing, only effects that are built into the repros. I had to freeze those tracks, not because it's too much alone for my PC, but the casting software just takes too much power from it, and I got some audio glitches. So normally you probably should be able to run 6 repros on machine like mine. It's not really powerful, and still handle it. So let's try to jam again, but this time with 2 repros on the bass and on the lead, and with 4 repros as a drum section here. Let's activate the drone mode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you will find that app useful to control your VSTs and external gear. See you around, subscribe if you like it, and give me some feedback if you have any questions about it or suggestions how to improve that workflow or the app itself. See ya. Goodbye.